Britta Albert here. If this is your first time here, I'm a transformational life coach, and my goal for this channel is to help you overcome your obstacles that are standing in the way of you living your best and most authentic life. Today is a really special day. I have been looking forward to this for a long time. It has been like 6 weeks in the making, I think, 5 or 6 weeks in the making. I am doing a collab with the one and only Mike the Investor. He is awesome, you guys, and you guys know this channel, we focus on bettering your life, getting things in a way, like I said, for you to live your most authentic life. And how can you do that if some of your most basic needs are not met? So finances are a huge part of living your best and most authentic life. And Mike is a genius when it comes to this stuff. Mike, will you go ahead and say a few words, introduce yourself?
Hey, Britta, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure. And I think it has been about 6 weeks in the making that we've been planning this. So it's been great to finally get together and do this. I think you're very informational on your channel, very great energy, very positive. So thanks again for having me on. And kind of like Britta Albert said, I think one of the main things you have to do is finances is very important, in our lives. We really have to kind of key in on that and kind of learn the basics to really take control of our finances. And my channel, I kind of just talk about, I share my journey with investing, and then I just kind of share inspiration, maybe if it's motivation or something to maybe, help you along the day. So that's kind of some things you can expect from my channel.
That's awesome. So what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned this year?
I would say the biggest thing I've learned, I would say two things, and they kind of coincide with each other. It's just not being afraid and just starting something, and then having patience at the same time. So I would say those are the two things I really focused on and I really kind of grasped, during this investing journey.
Well, I love both of those things. I think I've made a couple videos on those, not in this same, not about money per se, but those are, man, they're like the keys to the secret of happiness, I swear.
Happiness is a choice in a sense. We have to first identify what happiness is, to us, and then what it takes for us to achieve that happiness, So I think those things are very important. And I think a lot of times, us as humans, we kind of look at, finances or, the physical equivalent as happiness, and a lot of these, times, for example, whatever you may be into, whether it's fashion or automobiles, say maybe when you bought that, purse or maybe that shoe you wanted or that car you wanted, after it gets old, that new, flavor is gone, so it's kind of like, your finances as well. You really got to kind of understand and hone in on what makes you happy. Is it just temporary or is this something that really resonates with you?
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh, you hit it right on the head. That is something that I ask so many times is, does this resonate with me? And also, what serves you and what doesn't serve you? When you are looking at different things to invest in, what are some of the things that, I guess if you were to ask yourself, okay, is this going to serve my purpose or is this not going to serve my purpose, or will this serve me better than this? What are some of the things that you look for when you make those decisions?
Well, some things I look at is one, do I use the product or do I use the service? Because one, that makes it more relatable. It makes it more easy for me to understand where the company, gets their revenue and their profit, where their strengths and weaknesses are, and one thing that I think you should really understand when invest in what you know, because it's easier to understand when something may go wrong or when, maybe positive is going to happen, so that's one main thing that I kind of keyed on, was just understanding what I invested in, and then other things kind of follow after that.
That makes perfect sense. Like almost too easy.
Yeah.
I think when we talked before, I kind of shared how, and I'm sure you can relate to this, when you're first getting into it, you tend to overcomplicate it. And it can be really intimidating and really scary to think about investing, because a lot of times if you've never done it before, you're going to hear somebody who has an opinion. Everyone's going to share their opinion, whether they
Yes.
have had a bad experience, whether they've had a good experience, or like with me, I don't even make my own choices. I just say, okay, here's the money that I want to put in every month, and here's the level of risk I'm willing to do. So you go do the rest, you know.
Right,
But
right.
you make those decisions yourself.
I do. I do pride myself on it a little bit, but I mean, I'm also learning, every day, as I invest, there's been ups and downs, in the market, but I've been fortunate to have been on the positive side, of investing. So I'm thankful of that. I think it's a little bit of, and I think it's also a little bit of, doing your own research and just, kind of knowing what you invest in as well. And like you said from the beginning, not overcomplicating it. Because I think a lot of times when we go into it, we think it's just this whole, you know, a Rubik's cube, puzzle, which it is a lot of information, but I think the basics are really what, hones in your success, so I think you hit it definitely right on the key there.
Yeah. So I know we talked about it before and you told me, but you were to tell
Mhm.
my audience who doesn't know your story, how did you get started in investing?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. Great question. So, how I got started this year, 2019, April of this year, and how I got started, I just, wanted to kind of help take control of my finances. I wanted to start making passive income. And one of the two main ways that millionaires or people that are wealthy or just well off, the two main ways that they, had passive income was either in real estate or either in the stock market, and those are, two key industries that most people have their streams of income that, it comes from. And stock market investing, I wanted to join a couple years ago, completely intimidated. I was terrified. I was like, man, I don't know where to start. There's so many different ways to invest. You have option trading, growth investing, dividend investing, mutual funds. I mean, there's so many different avenues that you can invest in. So it can be frightening, before you actually jump into it. So first things first, when I finally just, jumped into it, I've been a YouTube junkie for quite some time. So I'm always on YouTube and just started, watching different ways to make passive income. And, the stock market kind of just came back. I do listen to a lot of Warren Buffett. I like a lot of his philosophies when it comes to
Yeah,
investing when we're talking about older people,
yeah,
so I really like a lot of his philosophies. So I will say in the investing industry, I look up to Warren Buffett. I think he's one of the obviously one of the best of all time, investors, that we can kind of see his track record of what he's accomplished, So that's one person I kind of looked up to in the industry and finally just jumped into it. Jumped into it in April. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. First, I figured out what type of style I wanted to do in investing, which is dividend investing. And for those of you that may not know what that is, it's kind of when you stock, you will get, basically a percentage back, from that company. So basically, they pay based off of, your investment that company for a term for the sake of this video. I'm going to go detail on that, but kind of the basics of dividend investing compared to investing in a growth stock. You invest in it, the investment appreciates in a positive. Then to get that money, you would at a later time to capitalize on that. So those main two ways of investing and those to go the dividend way. So just wanted to really uh, finance my finances and becoming self-made for myself because I want to be able to make sleep. And Warren Buffett always said if you learn to make money when you sleep, most likely forever. And I definitely ever so.
I love it. And so now what you're doing is you're sharing your journey, you're sharing your experiences with the world so that pretty much anybody can pick up and duplicate, your what you've been doing, and they get to learn to see what's worked and what doesn't work because you're sharing all that with people. It's not just showing the success at the end of it and then saying, oh, I did this and this and this, but
Yeah,
proving along the way what you're doing.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what you said, because a lot of people only see the success of
Mm-hmm.
it, when someone can see, where you and then say, man, this person actually started from here. And it's like, man, I can do it too. It's about, something special inside of us. We're all different. We all have our own uniqueness. And the choice of, do we want to shout from the rooftop and make our mark on the world? Are we going to, I guess, follow another footstep? So I think we both have this, we live in a great time right now, to really utilize social media and the internet to really, share with the whole world just in seconds, whatever is on our mind, we have that ability to just share with the world.
Yeah.
So I think we're really, blessed in this time to really just kind of hone in and capitalize on it. So
I agree completely. And it's like I tell people all the time, my day job is I work at a gym and I'm the manager of the gym, and I will coach people with some of their finances, sometimes on a very minimalistic level, help them budget and stuff like that. But I've had many conversations with people that there's never been a time like right now for anybody who wants to go into business for themselves. Even the capital that you need, you almost don't need anything other than just paying business licenses. And even something that's like Etsy or eBay, where you need nothing, they just take a small percentage off of your first sale or your listing. It has never been easier than right now, not only to start a business and become an entrepreneur, but then to be able to connect globally and have a global business if you want to.
Right. That's so true. That's so true. And like you said, and I think sometimes, just not just when investing, but I think, like you said, everyone wants to kind of go in business for themselves. It's the cool thing to do now, entrepreneurship. And I'm a big fan of Gary Vee as well. And he preaches it to the T that, entrepreneurship is, the cool thing. When one thing I kind of hone in on as well as I'm in management as well. I'm the store manager currently at my location, and thing I kind of hone in on, because a lot of things comes my way. There's a lot of fires and things you have to put out on the fly. And one thing I kind of look at and try to keep myself aware is, if I can't conquer the corporate world, how do you conquer entrepreneurship?
It blows my mind. And this is what got me so excited to work with you, because from the outside looking in, we are in very different industries. But at the same time, the message that we're sharing is a message of service. You are being a service to all peoples by showing this information. You could be going on this journey in complete silence, not telling anyone about it, not showing what's going on, and you could become very successful, and you could be in Forbes magazine being celebrated someday, and nobody will ever know how to achieve what you've achieved. But the fact that you're being so public about it and you're teaching people, you've now entered into the industry of service. And I get so excited whenever I see, especially on YouTube, great value being just given to the people. It just, it's hard to even put into words. It excites me so much, because it's like, again, you're in financing, you're in investing, and I'm a life coach. They don't usually go hand in hand, other than bettering your life. But I feel like we're on the same journey, or very, very similar paths that just look very different. And I wonder how many people are watching that feel the same way, or kind of identify, no matter what you do, no matter what's going on, you can turn everything into service.
That's true. You just so nugget. So hopefully you got your notepad, because Bretta's very knowledgeable as well. She said it on the key, because like you said, you may think, the investing world and the, life coach world, doesn't go together. But when you think about it, in some spots, they intertwine. Because when you think about it, you have people who has been in the investing world before me that suffered from the financial crisis. Mm-hmm. And some of them may be scared to get back into, the stock market, or just investing in general. And that's where maybe a life coach come in to maybe help with motivation, or maybe help whatever that may be. So there's so many avenues and so many ways to help key in. And I think one reason why kind of we cross paths is because, we're in different industries, but we have that same kind of vision, as in sharing our journey and wanting to help people along that And I think anyone that has that same passion, rather it's, beauty or rather it's the food industry, whatever industry that is, if you're still, having that teaching mind to give as much value as possible,
Mhm.
you're kind of in that same circle.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to add that we
Yeah.
didn't cover yet?
I think we kind of hit everything on the nail for the most part. Definitely, if this is maybe your first time even coming to Britta Albert's channel, be sure to subscribe. She gives great value. Check out her business as well. She's awesome. Once again, I just want to say thanks for having me on the channel. Awesome conversation. And hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, well, I wanted to leave some room so that we can continue this and definitely do this again for sure. But if you have not ever seen Mike the Investor, I'm going to include his link below. Click that for me. Check him out. Watch his videos. Subscribe. You guys, you will be hard to find another channel on YouTube that gives you so much advice, so much value for free. So definitely check him out. Thanks so much for being on here. And again, y'all, if this video resonates with you, or you know somebody that just popped into your mind that you think would either love this message or could really hear this message today, please share it with them. That is how we continue to grow this community. And we're so thankful for y'all. And we will see you next time.